As promised, I'm going to keep you guys up on things all Chicago, from Chicago to Washington, D.C., and possibly other cities as the gradualism is approaching us. Yes, it is September 3rd of 2025. I have 9:14 in the p.m. Let's say it together. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. It is Wednesday. I was out and about on the west side of Chicago. I want to show you guys about a minute of it alive, where they were doing donuts a few days ago. It was a perfect circle, which means I believe they are hiring stunt drivers and they are giving the impression that they're thugs, but they're not. I believe they're hired hands. And then once the rowdiness kicks in, they push it through the media, which is propaganda. And then they go along with they put movement through their textbook scenario. I believe they have a playbook, people, with a date on it. I believe they have demons and witches and warlocks, and they get together and they pray, and they get together and they worship the moon and the sun, and they move numerically. It's just that deep. They move numerically when to strike, and they pray to these gods, and these gods, they speak to them, and the gods speak back to them, and they tell them what to do, and they get their marching order. I believe that dark spirit realm is in sync with the Nephilim, the fallen angels, and people who have given their lives to Satan, and they are moving. They are moving. You know, before I forget, let me just go over some things that I actually wrote down. It's about passage, people. God created us in his image. I would just want to say hallelujah for that. You are the most precious and priceless creation that God has ever decided to make. Think about it, in his image, in the image. You're the most valuable creation ever. And we're higher than the angels. So if we use our will to give Satan passage in our domain, then they have authority. You see how that works? If we give our will and act out the will of Satan, we give him passage in the domain that God gave us, then they then have authority. That's how deep this thing is. So when I talk to you tonight, I want you to think about this, okay? See, this is how I look at it. You would never see a historical revolution of South versus North, because we've evolved past that moment. But if you create problems, if you make agencies, if you lax the laws, if the judges and the DA turn a blind eye, where the criminals keep getting out, repeat offenders, if you create a 911 historical event like New York, if that was created by these demons, then boom, you got a Department of Homeland Security, something we've never seen before. I'm old enough to remember when you went to the airport, you didn't have to strip almost butt naked. Come on now, I got to go there. I'm of the age, I remember when you went to get on the airplane, the airport, you didn't have to show them everything. But you see, things are closing in on our freedom. Now you're bringing the drugs in the communities, and you got to be tainted. Like I said, in this video here, I talked about what? I talked about they got this kind of substance that people are taking, eating holes in their skin. This is how much they hate us. Do you understand? That's what kind of narcotic is out here. Then you drop the guns out here. People are wayward. They're not thinking, not naturally. Because here's the deal. When you start taking this so deep, you're not human no more. Think about it. You're taking hallucinatics. You're taking something which is changing that chemistry that God gave you in good common sense, that now this has taken you over to the point now it's a spirit. Do you understand? It's a dark spirit. And then you put this in somebody's hand, a weapon, and you got the element of the disrespect toward parents and authority, that's what you got. Then you inflame it with the media. Baby, it's a wrap. These are the last days. Jesus and the prophets didn't break it down just like this, but I'm just trying to give you a modern day way of looking at this thing. You understand? Now check out this video because, again, like I said the other day, once I learned that Donald J. Trump is going to be sending the National Guard here and possibly the troops, I'm like, I got to get on this because I want y'all to understand what's going on. Also from a Chicago perspective and also from a personal perspective because I grew up here. But you got to understand, these are demons. These are demons that look, they're on the loose and they're striking. But they know that it's not that bad yet where they can just take us. So they have to work within the realm of the law. You understand? And they need passage and take your will so they can change the law, lax the law, so they can rule your domain. So they have authority. That's how it goes. This is deep. So check it out. Check it out.
So I'm here on Jackson. I'm on Jackson and I'm on Monroe. And those are the skid marks. Look at those skid marks. Can you believe this? This isn't a wide block, people, because they got the street area here for the bicycles. So they were out here doing donuts and they don't even have enough street to do this at. Look at this. So to me, these were stunt drivers. These were stunt drivers, people. These kids ain't that good. They're not that good. These had to be Hollywood stunt drivers. People might say, well, Pearson, you're exaggerating. You got a right to your opinion. I'm here. I'm telling you, this street is narrow. You got to know exactly what the hell you're doing to pull this off. This is a very narrow four-corner intersection. It's less than 2.5 minutes from the police. It's less than 2.5 minutes from the police station. I just showed you the tape.
So yeah, this happened at night in a very affluent neighborhood. At night, with no traffic or less traffic, 7 blocks you can get from the police station to where I was at. The drive that I took in the midday was about 4 minutes or less. So how come the police didn't bust their butt, put their butt in jail? Come on, man.
Drove it myself. It's 7 blocks from the police station. And they were out here doing this. Look at this street. Look at that street. And you telling me they had to be expert drivers, dressed up as thugs.
Precision.
They had to be expert drivers, dressed up as thugs. Look at that. Look at the precision. Look at that circle that's on the ground.
Wow.
You got to be real good to do that. Look at that circle. That's almost a perfect circle. Look at that circle. There's nowhere in the world. These had to be professional stunt drivers. Yeah, Fast and Furious. And this is how they justify taking over our city. This is what
It's deep. It's deep. Now check this out. I've been watching the mayor of DC because there is no governor. And Trump has 30 days to be in DC with his move. Now notice she got on that burgundy. She wearing that burgundy. He got it on too. And that's a little bit off of a purple, but she definitely wearing it. When you see it, think. Think. People, I'm gonna let you listen to her, but what I want you to understand, she is saying in so many words, she don't want Trump to be there past 30 days. She don't want the National Guard to be there past 30 days. And she knows, and she did say it, the only way they can stay longer is the authorization of the Congress. People, if this works here, woo, I'm telling you, look out. Check it out.
in the mayor's order. And I have to say that there was a Washington Post headline that circulated that was simply false. I went back, I reread that order, and in the hundreds of words that were in that order, there was no mention of welcome or welcoming. So that headline was false. And sadly, I think it was intentionally misleading. Let me tell you without equivocation that the mayor's order does not extend the Trump emergency. In fact, it does the exact opposite. What it does is lays out a framework for how we will exit the emergency. The emergency ends on September 10th. The only way it can be extended legally is by the Congress. So I want the message to be clear to the Congress. We have a framework to request or use federal resources in our city. We don't need a presidential emergency.
All right. Did you see all of a sudden she started doing that? The Trump talk, so to speak, allegedly. Look at that.
I want the message to be clear to the Congress. We have a framework to request or use.
I love the 5 C's. They make you think, don't they? The clues, the codes, the colors. Woo! Come on, man. Come on. Let's go down this rabbit hole.
Good evening, Alan. President Trump put another city on his crime crackdown list, with many folks here at the White House aligning behind this push, while others say it's just politics.
So deranged.
President Trump says he's preparing to launch National Guard troops to help combat crime in yet another Democratic-led city.
We're going to be going to maybe Louisiana, and you have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks. It'll take us 2 weeks, easier than D.C.
The president is already deployed to...
This is what I mean by this statement. You would never see a historical revolution of South versus North. We've evolved past that moment. But you will when you deputize these people. When you deputize the people, you bring back the North and the South scenario where you take people from within America. I want you to understand this concept. You're taking the people from within the country and you're law enforcing them. You're deputizing them. I wish I had the stat. If I had to guess, I would say since 9/11, we've probably upped in all these different agencies. We've probably got 30% more law enforcement in America than any other time. So when you create these problems, you deputize those, creating a North versus South historical paradigm. Do you understand? We're talking civil WAR. I'm going to say it again. It's civil WAR in a different aspect. Oh, it's deep. I'm not exaggerating. Look at how it's being materialized. Look at how it's being crafted. Men and women who would never go into these areas, they're coming because of the crime that's been allowed. It's deep. It's deep. Where else can I go with this? Here, let's go.
To D.C. and has threatened other cities, including Baltimore and Chicago.
We could straighten out Chicago. All they have to do is ask us.
If this president wants to help us reduce crime, we'll work with him. But this notion that he is going to invade Chicago, put military checkpoints in that city, for God's sake, that's just an outrage.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says the president is playing politics.
He's ignoring states with Republican leadership where crime is even worse. Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas. I mean, they go through a long list of them.
Congress is in.
And he's right. I brought the list the other day in one of my videos. You got Republican states that's way worse than Chicago. We're not even in the top 10 of bad states in terms of crime, in terms of unalived. So Trump can't even justify why he's coming here. Why he coming here? Let me tell y'all something. When the Bible says we don't fight against flesh and blood, we fight against spirits. understand it from this perspective. There's got to be a serious head demon here. There's got to be a serious head demon here. Somebody probably a little bit lower than Satan. Because I believe they have their north, south, east, and west parts of the earth. And this is the Midwest. There's probably a serious demon here. You feel me? And let me tell you what their crown looks like. Their crown is authority. Do you understand the logic? Their crown, look, Satan won a crown on his head. That's the mindset of the Antichrist. But right now, some of them smaller demons under Satan, they want a crown now. And so how do you get it? You bring in authority. You bring in more law. Because you, look, you can't be in charge without law. Do you understand? When you wear a crown, you have the law. When you perch on that kingdom bench, you sit on that throne, you got to have a crown. So I theorize it's not about whether or not Chicago is the worst, because the numbers already show we're not the worst. So why in the hell is he bringing them here? It's to give that demon a seat and to give him a crown, to give him authority, and to give him more law, to reward him for being the bad ASS that he always been. It's deep. I got to do a video on this one day. It's so deep. It's so deep. This is the Phoenicians, the way they used to do things. The way the Phoenicians work, if you give me something, I give you something. You give me some lives, I give you some territory. You give me some more babies, because when you get rid of babies, that's the pure blood. You give me some more babies, Illinois, guess what? I will give you whatever you want. I'll give you the state, the city. I'll give you all the outskirts. It's a trade-off. It ain't got nothing to do with bringing them troops over here. It's more in the spiritual realm, where it's a reward of a kingdom. And they're Pac-Manning one kingdom, one state, one town at a time. I believe that's what we're looking at. Now check this out.
Different situation, and we do know that we're starting week 4 now of the federal takeover, and there's really two things. There's the National Guard and there's a federal takeover. They're both happening at the same time, but they are under different executive orders. The mayor now talking about what things will look like in the city post-emergency, and that includes a continued coordination with federal agencies for the purpose of crime fighting in the District of Columbia. The mayor issued an order yesterday saying that she would stand up what's called the Safe and Beautiful Emergency Operations Center, or SBEOC. It requires coordination with federal law enforcement to the maximum extent allowable by law in the District of Columbia. So that does restrict certain communications and cooperation with immigrations and customs enforcement. The order...
They're going to wind up having a pyramid of power structure. You hear me? They're going to wind up having a pyramid of power structure. This all started back in the day with BLM and Antifa. Do you know, depending on what city that you investigate, between 20 to 40% of the police officers quit after George Floyd, after Antifa, and after the Black Lives Matter events. Between 20 to 40% of a lot of police officers quit here in Chicago. So a lot of that depth is gone. They gushed it out. Not only were those police officers with instinct and they've been around for a long time, 20, 30 years, well, maybe 20, 25 years on the force of experience. They know the law. Do you understand? The longer you are in service of the law, the more you understand the law. So you're not prone to break the law when somebody comes and tells you to break the law. Read between the lines, because that's what's about to happen. Those who are supposed to be guarding the Constitution, they're about to break the law. They're about to supersede everything. That's Satan's reward. It's deep. Now, I'm going to end with this. This is Nick Shirley. You guys probably remember Nick Shirley. He interviewed me a few times. We met at the DNC last year, the Democratic National Convention. We met. He was here in Chicago doing his thing, and he interviewed a rapper, and the rapper is also a gangbanger. I got half the mind to go out there and find them brothers and talk to them. Then again, I'm like, you know what, Pearson? It might go south, so leave it alone. But I want you to check this out so we can talk about, he's talking about the gang violence. Nick did an excellent job interviewing these brothers, and they told their story. So I'm gonna put this video in the description. Check out this video here. Nick posted this today, okay? Check this out. And I'm gonna be careful because there's certain things I can't show, so I'll be flipping the camera, so just chill out.
Troops on its streets. As you all know, Chicago's a killing field right now.
Welcome to...
Okay, so I'm gonna let that go past. A lot of violence in the screen. Crazy, baby, crazy. Chicago reigns as country's homicide capital for 13 years straight. 13 years straight, homicide capital. Okay? What else can I'm gonna wait? So much violence is being shown. Here's another stat. Chicago experienced the most homicides among nation's 20 biggest cities all the way to 2024. However, people, it's down now. In comparison, like I said, we're not even in the top 10. But Trump is coming. I believe he's rewarding that demon that made all this happen over the 13 years. That's how I look at life. I look at life spiritual, okay? See what else I can bring up here.
President, Chicago has held the highest murder rate for 7 consecutive years. I headed to the west side of Chicago to go meet up with some gangsters and local rappers to see the realities, just how dangerous the city of Chicago is. Now let's go into the streets of Chicago and go meet up with the gangster and rapper, Chief Spad. So what can we expect to see in this video today here in Chicago?
Oh shit, I'm gonna just breeze you through the hood. It's kind of a little early right now, shit.
So he actually rode around with him even through nightfall. He wanted to see two aspects. I'm gonna go over to the 649 period. I want you to see this here. I don't even have to talk. I want you to just look at this. Look at this. I know this area very well. Check this out.
Gang or what? Is like a gang symbol on your face or what?
These are my brothers. I'm a Muslim.
Muslim, okay.
Yeah.
And how many times you been done?
If he was a true Muslim, he wouldn't be in the gang. I want you to hear me very, very well. Very well. Listen to what he just said.
Real shit going on, man.
You guys in a gang or what? Is like a gang symbol on your face or what?
These are my brothers. I'm a Muslim.
Muslim, huh?
If he was a Muslim, he wouldn't be doing this. The Muslim teachings here in Chicago, the brothers and sisters I've talked to over the decades, they're not running in no gangs. They're taught to respect life. They're taught not to run the street. Do you understand? They're taught not to put themselves in harm's way. They're taught to defend themselves, to defend their community. But you're not out in the street like gangbanging. So unfortunately, the brother really doesn't understand the concept of being Muslim. I pray he'll get there, but people don't get it twisted.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many times you been done shot? Let's
3.
see. You got shot right here, looks like. Another shot right there.
Right there.
Oh, you got a bullet inside your body.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and Spaz, you've been shot too, right here, right here, right here. You got one bullet.
Look at that again. He got shot. Look at this here.
One shot. Let's
3.
see. You got shot right here, looks like. Another shot right there.
Right there.
Oh, you got a bullet inside your body.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and Spaz, you've been shot too, right here, right here, right here. You got one bullet shot right here, one right there, and then you have a literal bullet in your rib.
Yeah.
What kind of bullet you got in here?
It's like a 40.
40. And that hurt when I go like that?
Yeah, no, I can't feel that shit.
What'd you get shot for?
That shit, being me, being one of them niggas.
Did it hurt when you got shot? Like, what did it feel like? Was it like an adrenaline rush?
I ain't gonna lie. This one, when I got shot in my stomach, that motherfucker hurt. But when I got shot in my leg and my arm, that shit ain't hurt. But on cold, when I got shot in my stomach, that shit hurt.
When you get shot like that, you keep the bullet in your body. Does that give you some street respect?
You know, I really know.
We're in trouble, people. I can't tell you how much it hurts me to be 66 years old and to see this. And to let you know, if I go in those neighborhoods and interview them brothers, I might not leave. So shout out to Nick. He can go over there. You got to watch this interview. And the thing about it, they know better. Because Nick asked them, you know, would they rather just be without the guns and stuff? They say, yeah, but hey, this is the life. You grow up in it. You grow up in a neighborhood. Some people they know are trying to get out of the neighborhood, but many of them don't. And the cycle is this. You take out my brother, my sister, my friend, my cousin. You take out one of mine, I take out two of yours. And it never stops. I've been watching this since lived in Chicago when I was younger. My mama moved us out when I was, almost 17 years old, thank God. But people, it has escalated. It only stopped for a momentary period of time. But I hate to tell you, Chicago is one of those cities where it's gotten so bad. And don't take this the wrong way. I know Jesus can make it happen. Some of these folks ain't gonna never get out of this thing. They will never get out. And like I said in my live video, I bet on the south side and west side of Chicago, I bet over 50% of the cemeteries here in Chicago, over 50% of the youth that's buried in these cemeteries, I bet they black. I'm out. You guys have a good one. God bless.